Hey guys, Paul here from rockclimbingcentral.com. We're going to answer a question today, which is climbing a good workout? And the answer is, of course, yes, but we're going to delve a bit more into that answer today. So we're going to be asking how good is rock climbing as a workout? Does it burn fat? How many calories per hour does it burn? Is it good for cardio? Etc. etc. So the reason why I've actually made this video is because I used to do a lot of static weight training and I hated it. So I actually originally wanted to know what sports I could go into which were a good workout, which were going to help me build muscle, which were going to be good for cardio. Now, I originally went into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and it caused me a load of injuries. I did that for a few years and I had to stop just because of the injuries. Then I went into climbing and I loved it. It causes me a few little injuries, but nothing compared to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and it definitely helps you in terms of, working out, cardio, muscle, your main muscle groups, all this sort of stuff. Now, I've written quite a detailed article about this on rockclimbingcentral.com/workout. So if you want to go there and have a look at, it's got more information, so you can have a look at each subsection and find out what you need to know. This video is going to be a general rundown of how rock climbing is good as a workout. So let's get into it. So the question is rock climbing a good workout? Yes. It does burn fat. Of course it burns fat. If you keep the same diet regime, you keep the same other exercise regime, and then just add rock climbing to it, then of course it's going to burn fat. Why wouldn't it? It's an exercise. That's it. So that's a very simple way to put it in terms of burning fat. Now, what are the main muscle groups that rock climbing works out? Now, it strengthens your back. It's particularly your lats, because you're pulling yourself up like this, which is using your back. It uses your shoulders. It uses your calves and your glutes. It uses your forearms. This is a main one, your forearms. If you're a beginner, you'll probably have seen how much it affects your forearms for a day or two afterwards, how sore you are. So rock climbing is also very good for cardio. This was found in the British Journal of Sports Medicine, I believe it was, in 1997. They tested 14 climbers, which isn't very many, but at least we've got something to back up that rock climbing is good for cardio. So with these 14 climbers, they tested the heart rate and energy expenditure, and they found that cardio-respiratory fitness and muscular endurance was as good as running 8 to 11 minutes per mile, which is quite good. However, 11 minutes per mile isn't very good. It's not even average. It's quite slow, but 8 minutes per mile is pretty good. I'm guessing the way that they found, 8 minutes to 11 minutes is, first of all, the type of person you are, the type of metabolism you have, the type of the type of body you have, etc. It also depends on how much rest you have between climbs, how fast and aggressive you are on your climb, etc., etc. These things probably add up to find out how good cardio, is for rock climbing. Now, this study was done on indoor climbing, so if it was outdoor climbing, it might be even better because you might have thinner air outside, for instance. So I'll put a link to that study in the description below. It's also estimated that rock climbing, for calorie wise, it's around about 500 to 900 calories per hour. So this is done on Fitbits, it's done on all these other technologies and all this stuff. That this is just an estimate. Again, this depends on how aggressive you're climbing, depends on your rest periods, etc., etc. So 500 and 900 calories per hour is a massive difference. However, 500 calories per hour is a pretty good amount of calories to lose. Obviously, your forearms and fingers, we've talked about these already. These are going to be so sore if you're a beginner at first. You don't use these kinds of muscles usually in a normal activity other than climbing. Climbing for your forearms and fingers is something, it's completely different to everything else. Now, what you can use is a hangboard, and hangboards are usually found at your local climbing gym. Hopefully they will be. They're everywhere these days. Usually you've got either your Beastmakers or your Metolius, I think they're called, in the US. Now, you can, if you're a beginner, you can use the deeper ones. They're the easier ones. You just literally hang with your fingers, and by doing this you can usually do this as a 10-minute, maybe 20-minute workout at the end of every session. So you hang for around about 20 seconds to 1 minute at a time. Then you stop, you rest for a minute, then you hang again. Do this around about 10 times, and hopefully you'll feel okay. Now, this will really help your forearms and finger strength after that. And you can do this after every single session. It will really help your grip strength on crimps, on slopers, all these horrible ones that you're not used to. But it will really help you improve in general at climbing, because if you're a beginner, you might be underestimating how much grip strength really does actually help. It really helps. So, you can also use a pull-up bar. Now, I've got a pull-up bar here. I just put this over my door, so it goes over my door. This part here goes over the top of the door, and I can use each of these. I can use that to hang as well. I mean, they're not as good as hangboards, but I can use that to hang. But pull-up bars really pull-up bars really do actually help for your back. And as we've already mentioned, your lats are one of the main muscle groups that I use, probably the main, other than your forearms and fingers, and maybe your core. So I would advise getting a pull-up bar. I'll put a link in the description below to an Amazon product for a pull-up bar if anybody wants to have a look at that. Now, this is something that I really want to touch on. If you haven't noticed, slabs, overhangs, roofs, and your general vertical climbs, they are all quite different in terms of what muscles they work out. Now, they all work out the same muscles, but what I mean is, a roof, for instance, an overhang on a roof is going to help your core a lot more than a slab, because you're holding yourself up with these, usually with big juggy sort of handholds. However, you're holding yourself up with your core. You're pulling your feet up on a roof to keep them up onto those toe holds, all this sort of other stuff. It's really going to help your core. And it's also going to be a bit more on your shoulders. Now, if you go into a slab, which is an incline like that, slabs, good for your glutes, good for your calves. Now, it's good for your calves because you're actually using little toe holds. And these little toe holds, you're going to be putting your feet on there, and then you're going to be pushing up with your toes and your feet towards this incline, and that's good for your calves. And then usually on a slab, you'll also be using your glutes, because there'll be other kinds of toe holds where you have to push up using that muscle as well. Now, your core is still used for balance. It's used for finding your center of gravity and all this sort of other stuff, but it's just not used as much as you are on roofs and overhangs, for instance. So, so you are using your back as well, and you're using very crimpy holds usually on your hands. So your forearms and fingers are going to hurt quite a lot more in terms of crimp. But again, I just want you to think about that. Overhangs and roofs, stuff like that, are going to work out different muscle groups to slabs and vertical climbs. If you want to lose weight, rock climb. Change your diet so that you're putting less calories into your body. Don't worry about these detoxes, skinny coffees, all that other stuff. These don't work, or at least they contribute very minutely. If you want to lose weight, the best thing you can do is put less calories into your body and use more calories by, spending more energy. So if you are putting less calories into your body and then rock climbing, for instance, or doing any sort of other sport, then you are going to lose weight, because you're going to put yourself in a calorie deficit, and that's how you lose weight. So don't worry about all this, these detoxes, spending money on all these skinny coffees. Just don't worry about that. Lose weight with a calorie deficit, and that's it. That's the only way you're going to lose weight, really. So I hope this has helped you understand how rock climbing burns fat, how rock climbing helps your main muscle groups, and how rock climbing helps your cardio, and how many calories it burns per hour. If you want more detailed information on this topic, go to rockclimbingcentral.com/workout. I'm much better at writing things down than I am in front of a camera. This is just a small video to help people understand. I've been Paul from rockclimbingcentral.com. Thanks.